Hello, how is your day going? Are you ready for the final lesson of Understanding Love, Creating Inner Peace course? In today's lesson, we will learn together the remaining love languages of the 5 love languages. The third love language is acts of service. Albert Einstein, one of the greatest scientists in history, is famous for his theory of relativity in 1905. He also made many important contributions to science. However, at the end of his life, he removed the portraits of scientists Maxwell and Newton to replace them with portraits of Schweitzer and Gandhi. When people questioned this action, he replied, "It's time to replace the symbol of science with a symbol of service." Apparently, Einstein realized that love is even more powerful than science. One of the ways to show love is acts of service. The image that best shows the nature of Christianity is the scene where Jesus washes the feet of the apostles. According to the old custom, servants were responsible for washing the feet of visitors to the house. Jesus taught his disciples to love people. And he showed them an example of love. He took a basin of water and a towel to wash their feet. Then he encouraged his disciples to follow suit. In most social systems, the great is the ruler. But Jesus said that the greatest people are those who serve others. And Paul, one of his apostles, summed up this philosophy in the sentence, "Serve others with love." In our age of egos today, the idea of serving others seems to have become obsolete. However, a life of serving others is always desirable. In all fields, the superior is always the one who wishes to serve others. The most respected physician always considers his profession as a mission to serve the unfortunate patients. A true leader always considers himself a servant of the people. Great educators always see each student as an individual. For them, the greatest reward is seeing others become better. First, allow me to distinguish between serving and obeying. Obeying often exists in families with skewed values, where people serve each other out of compulsion, not willingly. Obedience will become a burden in people's hearts. It creates anger, bitterness, and hatred. Listen to this statement from a wife who separated from her husband. "I have served him for over 20 years. I do everything for him, I'm not even more than his doormat. But he abandoned me, treated me badly, insulted me in front of family and friends. I don't hate him, nor do I curse him. But I don't want to live with him anymore." This wife has performed acts of service for the past 20 years, but it is not an expression of love. They are done out of fear or out of guilt. Doormats are an inanimate object. You can wipe your feet on it, kick or do whatever you like because it has no consciousness. But it's not like the person you love. When you treat them like objects, you lose the opportunity to show them love. Constrained by conditions. "If you loved me, you would do this for me," is not love. Forced. "If you don't do it, tell me. You will regret it," then love cannot exist. No one deserves to be treated like a doormat. Humans are creatures with thoughts, feelings, and dreams. We can decide and follow our own preferences. Taking advantage or controlling others is not an expression of love. In essence, it is an act of betrayal. If you allow others to control you, you are creating conditions for them to form inhuman habits. True love will say, "I love you too much to let you treat me like that." It's not good for either of us. True love will never allow you to be controlled. On the other hand, it is often expressed by acts of service. It is voluntary service, out of choice, not fear. It derives from the thought, "Giving is happier than taking." We all have a certain ability or qualification. Use them to show your love. Of course, acts of service require no tech skills at all. Many years ago, every Friday evening, my wife and I opened our doors to single people who had just arrived or had visited our church. This is no big deal. We want to create a place for young people in the area to ask questions and create new relationships. One day, after discussion, a young man lingered and told me, "These meetings have been interesting and rewarding for us. I would love to do something to show my gratitude to you. Can I stop by to clean up the yard for you one day?" I said immediately, without hesitation, that would be great. And a few days later, he came to clean the stove for us. That young man left this area a long time ago, but my wife and I still do not forget him and his good deeds. Life always gives you the opportunity to show love by your acts of service. Maybe that's when you and your colleague went to the parking lot and discovered her flat front tire, or when an elderly needed to be taken to the doctor or church. For some single people, this love language is expressed very easily. They grew up in families where actions speak louder than words. They are complimented for their dedication to serving others. All family members try to serve the elderly or those in need of their help. They feel deeply that love means devotion. As a result, they are always looking for opportunities to serve others. However, there are people who are very confused when using this love language. They grew up in a family where everyone had to fend for themselves. "Parents will not take care of you forever," is a message they often hear. As a result, they only try to find ways to meet their own needs. And they also think it's true for everyone. Why should I help others when they can do it themselves? They also often say, "Of course I will help the elderly when they are in trouble," but in reality they rarely do. If you share a house or work with people with such tendencies, it's best to consult with them before committing yourself to them. If you clean your roommate's furniture while she's away, she'll probably get annoyed. She will think, "She thinks I'm not doing my job." For you, the act of cleaning is used as an expression of love, but for her, it is an act of insult. Therefore, it's best to ask, "Are you happy that I do for you?" before helping her. After all, your purpose is to bring happiness to others by showing your love. If her response is, "No, I can do it myself," don't think she rejected you. It's just that at that moment, she doesn't want to accept your way of expressing love. Even though you may not be able to show your love to your friend through an act of service, it is still a love language that you need to use regularly. It is a way of expressing your responsibility to the benefit of others. Albert Schweitzer once said, "As long as there is one person left in the world who is starving, sick, lonely, or living in fear, he is still my responsibility." Helping others is a universally popular expression of love. Now is your time to think. What have you done to take care of yourself? How would you like to do that after this lesson? On a scale of 0 to 10, how loved do you feel when others help and take care of you? Does your father use this acts of service language? What about your mother? How do you show your acts of service towards others? During the past 3 months, what act of service have you performed with your parents? What acts of service have you given to a friend or person you are dating? Recently, have you been cared for by people? Are you willing to make it a goal to use this love language at least once a week with your loved ones?